How's it going? Sorry, I was listening to music. And that's what we're talking about, how to edit your music to your video, manipulating the songs you choose to make your video work best. Welcome back to the show. My name is Josh Thom, and today we're going to be taking 3 levels of editing music to your videos. Music is essential to video editing. It can really set the stage of your video even before a word is spoken. A perfect example of this is Netflix intros. In a murder documentary, you're gonna hear something a little bit like this. And in a racing show, you're gonna hear something like, okay, turn it off. Now we're not gonna be digging into music tone and sound design today. That video is on its way, stay tuned. Today we're gonna be talking about 3 things. 1 is ending songs, not letting them fade out into nothing. That is a little bit amateur. 2 is manipulating the songs and using the pieces that you want in different places of your video without cutting the music. And level 3, the most advanced, is using ducking and music as transitions to the next scene in your video. A quick note before we start, I'm gonna be using Premiere Pro, but this applies to all editing software. It doesn't matter what you're using, just apply the techniques we're using and you will be golden. On to number 1. You know, we've all been there. We don't exactly know where to end the video, so we just kind of let the music die into nothingness, and it seems a little bit unfinished. Those dark days are over because we're stepping up our game. To edit music, you need to think like a musician. Now, don't get me wrong, this sounds scary, but it's pretty easy. Let's say we're listening to some music and it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that beat going in your head, and that is where you're going to cut your music and then bring it in to the new part. So the end of your video is coming. You know that it's in a few frames and you want the ending of the song that you're using to be in that part. And all we're gonna do is think of the music in the beats that we're given. So if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna get in the rhythm, we're gonna think about the music, and we're gonna cut on the same beat. So on the one end, you get the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you cut on the 4, and then on the other end, you pick it up on the 1 and get rid of the middle. After you smooth this out and time it frame perfectly, it's gonna sound pretty good, but maybe there's some differences in the song and you're gonna need to smooth that over somehow. This is where I introduce the main character of music editing, and that is our friend Cross Dissolve, or in Premiere, Constant Power. We're gonna take that effect on the seam of our clip, place that, and then drag it out as long as we need for it to sound natural. This is the original audio that we are editing. And this is the new cut version with some constant power. This is how professional video companies do it. This is how your favorite YouTubers do it. You've got to step up your game and sound more professional using this technique. Number 2 is cutting songs in and out and using the pieces you want, getting rid of the rest. We're gonna be building off of step 1 here, so you're gonna find your endpoint that you want. You may be in the middle of your video, but you want that chorus to be a few beats earlier. No problem. There's no problem. We can fix that easily. Using that tempo, you're gonna find the out point, or where you're gonna make your initial cut, and then you're gonna follow it up, count that down, and make your in point to connect. My biggest tip here is to not overuse the same part of the song. After about 3 times, people are gonna catch on and know exactly what you're doing. Now, this is an important way of thinking about how you're gonna structure your video story-wise. Let's say you've got the build, the climax, maybe some disappointment, and then you wanna build it up again. You can just take that slower part or the bridge of your music, throw it in where you want, cut it to the beat, and you've got no problem. With these techniques, you're not restricted by the music that you choose. You manipulate the music to do exactly what you want it to do. And now for the big 3rd level, ducking and music transitions. Ducking is when the audio level of your music drops when someone is talking in your video. Now, I'm sure you might have used auto ducking before, and it just sounds way, way too extreme. Here's an example. Okay, now it's my turn to talk. No, let me talk. Music, stop it. Hey music, we're done with auto ducking. We're done with allowing the software to decide what we do with our edit. You're gonna use your pen tool, you're gonna find that audio bar, and you're gonna drag that audio down nicely, smoothly, and not too extremely when you're talking. So once again, you want to take it easy here. You don't want the audio to drag all the way down to 0 so I can't hear it. You don't want people to be taken out of the story of your video because they're thinking about the audio and how it's changed. But you also need to hear what the person's saying. So make sure you find that balance. It might be a little bit hard, but once you get it, you'll know. Now here comes point 3, part B, which is music transitions. A lot of people on YouTube think that transitions are just changing the shot through a cool camera move. Well, here's another technique. When the end of your scene is coming up close, you can introduce your new music that'll change the tone or change the pace late into the end of your scene that'll jar the viewer out into the next scene. I did that in my video last week when I set up this YouTube studio. Check it out. Okay. Another thing that you can do on your YouTube videos is cut your music at the right time of the speaking parts that are funny to emphasize that humor. Or if an awkward moment happens, or if you really want to have a loud bang to move on to the next scene, all of these things work and keep the viewer engaged into what's going on. Ugh. I hope that you enjoyed those tips. That's all I've got for you guys this week, but I've got a lot of videos coming out and I'm ready to keep making more content for you guys. It's been Josh Thom. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned something. If you did, please comment below. And if you're gonna use some of these tips, please let me know below. I'd love to check out your videos. Consider subscribing to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.